Welcome back as we head up to what is 23 minutes away from 8 o'clock this Friday morning. Welcome to the South African Morning. I'm Gareth Edwards. So our country, South Africa, has a coastline of almost 3,000 kilometres. It's an awfully big space. It's known as the blue economy. Can it be used to develop rural areas? To find ways to do this, the Bomvana Regional Development Forum is the Rural Maritime Development in Indaba. They're hosting it. It's a three-day conference, I understand, bringing the two worlds of maritime and rural development together. So let's try and first of all find out why has there been a separation, and then how do we bring it together. Maritime Business Chamber Executive Chairperson Unathi Sonti joining us this morning. Unathi, good to have you on ENCA. Appreciate the time. I just want to understand, what exactly is this Maritime in Indaba? What are you trying to achieve?
Thank you, Gareth. As you have alluded in your introduction, that there's always a separation, between the conversation around the economy and the rural, areas within the country. So the Rural Maritime in Indaba seeks to bridge in that gap and address a number of issues that talks to the opportunities that lies within our rural coastal belts within the country. The Bomvana, rural development, regional development under the leadership coordination of Inkosikazi Unosintu Gwebindlala, have come up, to say they've seen potential, and we need to talk about, what opportunities lies within the rural maritime economy.
Let's talk about those opportunities as well. As I ask you about what's the number one opportunity that you see available as a result of this Indaba, Unathi, we'll get there. Give me the number one problem that is keeping your industry awake at night. I'm sure there's a multiplicity of issues. Just give me the number one problem.
The number one problem is currently right now, as you might have seen, we've got a biggest issue with regards to the understanding between the industry and the revenue services, where right now, as we speak, vessels have still been detained in Algoa Bay, where there is a bunkering activities that talks to ship fueling. Something that we believe we are, trying to engage with the relevant authorities to resolve it. That's one thing that keeps me awake at night, because it then takes us away from all the efforts that we have been trying to do with regards to the introduction and the inclusion of the historically disadvantaged, individuals in the form of SMMEs that we've been trying for them to be able to participate within the space.
Let's talk about that inclusivity for a second. How do you bring those previously disadvantaged members of society, previously disadvantaged communities into the maritime industry and make it profitable for all and create jobs? How do you begin to do that? Firstly, we need to appreciate the fact that South Africa, since the launch of Operation Phakisa 2014, it then realized itself as a maritime nation. And the South African government has been very actively working, on a number of initiatives. You would note that there has been, master plans for each region or province. And there is also currently a process with regards to the development of South Africa's Oceans Economy Master Plan. And this is where now we believe opportunities that would talk to bridging the gap and inclusivity of SMMEs within the space would come about. How many jobs are you looking to create? Give me a number.
Look, it is estimated that maritime could contribute, thousands, over 100,000 jobs should South Africa really realize its potential. If you look at currently right now, let's talk about Algoa Bay, for instance. You would note currently the direct jobs that have been created with that program alone, it's about 700 jobs. And if you look at the indirect job, it's over 3,000 jobs. And now we are talking about just one area, which is Nelson Mandela Bay. And in fact, all the indirect jobs comes from everyone else who gets to benefit that are either within that area or even outside.
I want to ask you this in closing. It sounds like this discussion between yourselves as the Maritime Business Chamber and the Bomvana Regional Development Forum is something government should be doing. Are you having to pick up the torch because government doesn't know what they're doing?
Look, I don't want to say government doesn't know what they are doing. I think what we are lacking, and hence, the Maritime Business Chamber, when we were approached, we said we would definitely want to support this together with all the other role players, your Be All Foundation and your BGen, to say, let's first develop a strategy. Let's look at what is available there so that when we go to government, we are able to say, government, we need assistance with ABCD. You would note that when we talk of rural maritime, those rural communities, coastal communities, majority of them have currently right now papers with them which are for them to have fishing rights as small-scale fishers, but there has not been really a program that seeks to, to support them. And we want, after this, engagement, to be able to go back to government to say, government, you have promised ABCD, and we would want now all of us coming together with private sector in working on a program that would really now see these communities benefiting and fully realizing, the benefits of the paper that they are currently holding in their hands.
Yep, it's sitting on a gold mine, if you will, 3,000 kilometers of coastline, and it's not being used effectively. And that's what the Maritime Business Chamber Executive Chairperson Unathi Sonti and his colleagues are hoping to achieve alongside the Bomvana Regional Development. It's a 3-day Indaba getting underway in a couple of days from now. My thanks to Unathi for joining us this morning.
Thank you.